Dear students, welcome to 8th standard CBSE social science class. Today in this class I am going to take geography unit number 2, land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. This is the part 3 of the lesson. In the previous class we had learnt about the land, soil, water. And today's topic, let's discuss about natural vegetation and wildlife resources. The natural vegetation and wildlife. Some school children were visiting an exhibition on handicrafts. The articles in the exhibition were collected from the different parts of the country. Mona picked up a bag and exclaimed, "This is a beautiful handbag." "Yes, it is made from jute," the teacher said. So what happened? The school children were visiting an exhibition on the handicrafts. In that the articles in the exhibition were collected from the different parts of the country. So what happened in that, Mona, she picked up a bag and exclaimed about that bag, that is a very beautiful handbag. So teacher said that bag made from the jute. Do you see those baskets, lampshades and chairs? Those are made up of canes and bamboos. And teacher said that they have seen so many things in that exhibition. Example, baskets, lampshades and chairs. Those were made by the bamboos and canes. In the eastern and northeastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty. Jessie was excited to see a silk scarf. So what happened? Where we can see the bamboo trees in the northeastern and the eastern humid regions of the India. We can see the bamboo plants in there. It is useful for so many handicrafts and also for so many products. Jessie was excited to see the silk scarf in there. Say, "This is beautiful scarf." The teacher explained that this silk is obtained from silkworms that are bred on mulberry tree. So what happened? The teacher explained that the silk, it is obtained from the silkworms and it is are bred on the mulberry tree. So this is the silkworms we can see in the picture. And the children understood that plants provide us with many different products that we use in our day-to-day life. So by this, the students were understood about that we can get so many things by the plants. The plants provides many different products we are using in our day-to-day life. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere that we call biosphere. So in the previous class we have already learnt about this, the biosphere. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of the contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. We call it as biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. Yes, we already known about this. The biosphere, the living beings interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem. Already we have known about that the ecosystem, the pond ecosystem and also the forest and the mountains, etc. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Yes, the vegetation and also the wildlife are valuable resources. Plants provide us with timber, gives shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soil to essential for growing crops, act as shelter belts. Is it? The plant provide us. What are the uses of the plants we can get here? We are using, it provides timber, means the wood pieces. We are using that wood pieces for building houses, for so many purposes. Then it gives the shelter for the animals. The forest, is it? And then produce oxygen. We breathe. We are taking the oxygen. It provides from the plants only. And protect the soil, is it? It protect the soil from the soil erosion. And essential for growing crop, is it? And then shelter beds help in storage of underground water. Yes, the forest only, the plants only helps to store the underground water. And it gives fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper that is so essential for your studies, is it? There are innumerable uses of plants, and you can add some more. These are the uses of plants. We can add some more uses for this uses in this list, is it? We can use so many things. Those are the uses of plants. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. Wildlife includes what are? Animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life. Aquatic means water animals. They provide us milk, meat, hides and wool. Is it? Insects like bees provide us honey. From where we can get the honey? From the honeybee, beehive, the insect. Help in pollination of flowers and have an important role to play, and decomposes in the ecosystem. The insects only play that role, decomposes. The birds feed on insects and act as decomposers as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So, animals big or small, all are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. So, these animals, wildlife means the animals, birds, insects and water animals, everything it includes in the wildlife. In that we get the milk, meat, wool, etc. And the insects, it gives us the honey, helps to pollination of the flowers, and the decomposers also. It is the role of the animals, wild animals like vulture, the bird, it will eat the dead livestock. Is it? Is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So these are the animals, big or small, all are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. Is it? So these are the flowers. Brahma Kamal, it is a medicinal herb we are using. The bird, a blue kingfisher, it will eat the the fishes. Distribution of natural vegetation. How the natural vegetation distributed all over the world. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. Yes, the growth of vegetation, it mainly depends upon the temperature and also the moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forests, grassland, scrubs and tundra. So what are the types of vegetation in the world? Major types of the vegetations are: first one, forest; second one, grasslands; third one, scrubs; fourth one, tundra. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. So, where we can get the heavy rainfall, there we can see the forest, heavy forest, huge trees. Is it? And abundant of water supply in that place. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of the trees and their density reduces. Is it? The amount of moisture, if the moisture decreases in that place, the size of the tree and density also reduces in the places where we can get the small amount of the moisture in that places. In the regions of moderate rainfall, short stunted trees and grasses grow, forming the grasslands of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, thorny shrubs and scrubs grow. In the dry areas, for example, the deserts like that, it gets the low rainfall. In that places, we can see only the thorny shrubs and scrubs. Is it? In such areas, plants have deep roots. These are the forest and the grasslands. Forests we can see in the heavy rainfall areas, heavy moistured areas. Grasslands we can see in the moderate places or dry places. So we can see the grasslands in the medium rainfall areas. The leaves have thorny and waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by the transpiration. So in the dry places or means in the desert areas, what happened, the scrubs and the thorny bushes, it having the lengthy root under the ground, and the leaves have thorny. For example, you can see the various cactus, for example, it having thorn in it. Is it? What is the uses of that thorn? Waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by transpiration. It controls the moisture. It reduces the loss of the moisture, the thorns of the plants in the dry areas. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprise of mosses and lichens. In tundra areas, in polar regions, it comprises the mosses and lichens. Then forests are broadly classified into two types, evergreen and deciduous forest. We can see the evergreen forest and also deciduous forest. We will see what is evergreen forest and what is deciduous forest. So it depending on when they shed their leaves. Evergreen foresters do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year. Evergreen foresters, the name it is telling us that it is evergreen. It does not shed their leaves in the particular season. Deciduous foresters shed their leaves in the particular season to conserve loss of moisture through the transpiration. But in the deciduous forest, the trees shed their leaves to control or to avoid the transpiration of the water. So it conserves the loss of the moisture by shedding their leaves. Which forest? Deciduous forest. Evergreen forest, it does not shed their leaves in a particular season of a year, and the deciduous foresters, the trees shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve the loss of the moisture. I hope you got this. These foresters are further classified as tropical or temperate based on their location and different latitudes. And these foresters are further classified as tropical and temperate based on their location and the different latitudes. You already know about the latitudes and longitudes, is it? In the previous classes. You have learnt in detail about the various forest types, their distribution and the associated animals' life in the previous classes. Already you have learnt about in the 7th standard CBSE about the types of forests and their distributions, of what were the animals can live in that forests. Is it? Okay. Today, there are many more people in the world than there were centuries back. To feed the growing numbers, large areas of forests have been cleared to grow crops. Is it? So people, what they did? They clear the forests because to grow the crops, to build the houses, industries, factories, like that. Forest cover all over the world is vanishing rapidly. Yes, now we unable to see those kind of forests what it had in the previous years. There is an urgent need to conserve this valuable resources. Is it? We need the forest. We want that forest. We have to conserve these valuable resources. How? By planting the trees. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. How can we conserve the natural vegetation and wildlife? Forests are our wealth. Yes, it is 100% true. It is forests are our wealth. We getting so many lots of products and uses from the forests. Plants give shelters to the animals and together they maintain the ecosystem. Yes, the forest only maintain the ecosystem and also the shelter for the animals. Otherwise, animals cannot able to stay without forest. Changes of climate and human interferences can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Yes, the interference of the human beings only, it causes the loss of natural habitats and the plants and animals. We only cutting the trees. We only decreasing the forest. By clearing the forest, we are go for growing crops and factories, building houses for our wants. Because of our needs, we only decreasing the forests and also the wild animals. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered and some are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunami, landslides are some of the human-made and natural factors which together accelerate the process of extinction of these great natural resources. One of the major concerns is the increasing incidence of poaching that result in a sharp decline in the number of particular species. The animals are poached for collection and illegal trade of hides, skins, nails, teeth, horns, as well as feathers. For example, peacock. Is it? Because of the skin, hide, nails, teeth, horns, and feathers, we are killing the animals and birds. Some of these animals are tiger, lion, elephant, deer, black buck, crocodile, rhinoceros, snow leopard, ostrich and peacock. Is it? It is decreasing in that number. These can be conserved by increasing awareness. So what we have to do? Aware for those animals and also the forest. National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reservoirs are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. What we have to do now? To prevent the forest and also the wildlife resources. Yes, natural parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reservoirs. Conservation of creeks, lakes and wetlands is necessary to save the precious resources from depletion. Is it? Conservation of the creeks means rivers, lakes, wetlands. It's necessary to save the precious resources of depletion. There is a balance in the environment if the relative number of species is not disturbed. Human activities in several parts of the world have disturbed the natural habitats of many species. Is it? Because of our human needs, it disturbs the natural habitats. Due to indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become extinct or are on the verge of extinction. Awareness programs like social forestry and Vana Mahotsava should be encouraged at the regional and community level. What? Awareness programs like forestry, social forestry, Vana Mahotsava should be encouraged in the regional and also in the community level. School children should be encouraged for bird watching and visiting nature camps so that they appreciate the habitat of varied species. Many countries have passed laws declaring that the trades as well as killing of birds and animals are illegal. In India also, it passes the laws declaring that the trades as well as the killing of birds and animals are illegal. They can put case on it. In India, killing of lions, tiger, deer, great Indian bastards and peacocks have been banned. An international convention, CITES, has been established that lists several species of animals and birds in which trade is prohibited. Conservation of plants and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen. So, animal speaks we can see here. So, an international convention also there, CITES. It has been established that lists several species of animals and birds which trade is prohibited. Conservation of plants and animals is a ethical duty of every citizen, all of us. This is the lesson about the land, water, soil, natural vegetation and wildlife resource. So, dear student, I hope you all got this. Thank you.